Hey guys, we're going to finish up the study guide today. We're just going to finish reading on page 4, then we're going to go over the answers together. And tomorrow we're just going to do an open note test since we don't really have time to review. We'll just do open note tests, and then we'll go on spring break. And when we get back, we're going to do the book over the gang, La Mara Salvatrucha. Okay. Entonces tomó 3 decisiones que él consideraba muy importantes. Primero, bajó al inmenso sótano de su casa y limpió la vieja armadura de su bisabuelo. So he made 3 decisions that he considered really important. First, he went down to this gigantic basement of his house and he cleaned the old armor of his great-grandfather, bisabuelo. Segundo, decidió ponerle un nuevo nombre a su caballo. Le tomó 4 días decidirlo. Después de todo, el caballo de un caballero famoso tiene que tener un nombre glorioso. Finalmente, después de considerar más de 100 nombres, decidió llamarlo Rocinante, por lo que antes había sido un hermoso Rocín. So secondly, he decided to give his horse a new name. It took him 4 days to decide. After everything, after all, the horse of a famous knight has to have a glorious name, right? Finally, after considering more than 100 names, he decided to call him Rocinante. Por lo que antes había. Because before he had just been a Rocine, which is like an old, worn-out horse who isn't really worth much. Y tercero, decidió salir en buscar de un fuerte y joven ayudante para nombrarlo su fiel escudero y salir a matar maléficos, gigantes, brujos y dragones. Third, he decided to go out in search of a young, strong helper who he would name his faithful squire and go out and kill these maleficent, I guess, giants, witches, and dragons. Okay, aprendes. Do you understand? Let's look at some of these comprehension questions from the reading. ¿Quién es el autor de Don Quixote? Well, it is interesting. I'm not sure. I need to look this up, but I think William Shakespeare and Miguel Cervantes actually, I think they died the same year. I need to look that up. They were either born the same year or died the same year or something. There's some connection there. So they were contemporaries. They were around at the same time. But it was Miguel de Cervantes. Un viejo granjero es, that's an old farmer. El nombre del viejo granjero es, the name of the old farmer is Alonso Quijano, Sancho Panza, or Aldonza Lorenzo. Well, Alonso Quijano, that's the guy's name, this old guy that goes crazy reading all these books. He's the one that gave himself the new name of Don Quixote. Alonso Quijano vivía in La Mancha. So La Mancha is an actual region in Spain, and this book has made it famous. Alonso Quijano era rico. He was actually very wealthy. Alonso Quijano vivía con su esposa y hija y sirvienta, primo y tío. Well, if you go back and read, he did live with his daughter and servant. Aquí. Alonso Quijano era adicto a los novelas de aventuras y caballería. So he was addicted to adventure novels about knights. Telenovelas are soap operas, so he was not addicted to soap operas. I don't guess they were around then. Alonso Quijano era bajo y débil. Was he short and weak? Fuerte pero delgado, strong but skinny. Fuerte y gordo, strong and fat. He was actually fuerte pero delgado. He was skinny, but he was strong. Después de leer mucho, Alonso decidió convertirse en blank. After reading a lot, Alonso decided to convert himself to caballero, which is like a knight, sirviente, or cura, that's the priest. Well, he decided to become a knight, a caballero, comes from the word caballo, horse. Don Quixote era inteligente pero loco, estúpido y perezoso. Which one of these best describes him? Was he smart but crazy? Stupid and lazy. Definitely smart but crazy. En su locura, Alonso creyó que todas las pastillas de sus libros eran blank. In his craziness, Alonso believed that all the fantasies of his books were true, verdad. ¿Cómo se llama el nombre nuevo del caballo de Don Quixote? What's the name of the new name of Don Quixote's horse? Well, he named him Rocinante, because Dapple was actually the name of Sancho Panza's little donkey. Okay, pon las frases in orden. Put the phrases in order of the sequence they happened in the story. Alonso limpió la vieja armadura de su bisabuelo. Alonso decidió ponerle un nuevo nombre a su caballo. Alonso decidió salir en buscar de un ayudante para nombrarlo su fiel escudero. So Alonso cleans the old armor of his great grandfather. He decides to give his horse a new name, and he decides to go in search of a faithful squire who will help him in his travels and journeys. So it's actually, they're in order. I really meant to mix them up, but I forgot to. So it's actually 1, 2, 3 or ABC or however you want to do it. Once again, we're just going to do open note test tomorrow. All you need to, you can look off the Quizlet. You can look off this study guide. My main goal was not that y'all would memorize and know everything there is to know about Don Quixote. My main goal is that, you know, when you hear Don Quixote, you know what people are talking about. You know it's one of the most famous Spanish books ever written. You know it was written by Miguel Cervantes. You know the main characters, that Don Quixote is this old man who goes crazy reading books all the time about knights and chivalry. And we know that his sidekick is Sancho Panza, who's kind of a dim-witted neighbor type guy. And that they go on all these adventures. And really, during the adventures, we see that Don Quixote is really, he's very brave, and he's very brave and strong, and he has lots of adventure, and he kind of got what he wanted. He didn't want to lay around the house all day and be bored. He said he wanted adventure. He wanted to pursue righteousness, things like that. And we find that he does find adventure, and people like to humor him. And one of the big things of the book is that even though he really technically is crazy, it's the people around him who end up acting crazier than he is. And so he gets to go and have all these great adventures, and he muses other people, and it's kind of a cool story. There are some deeper questions in the book, and he does make some statements about society in general, and about, like, there's the scene where he comes to meet the prisoners, and he does make a lot of statements about society in general, but we just don't have time to get into those. But I hope that you guys at least have a general idea when you hear Don Quixote, what the whole thing's about. So anyway, if you guys have any questions or any concerns, always shoot me an email, and I'll try to get back to you within a few hours. Hasta luego.